This is the Parra Cave podcast, proudly brought to you by major sponsor Jack's Pale Ale, exclusively available at Parramatta Leagues Club, and co-sponsors Bo Cook from Loan Market, Scott from Brightside Detailing and Ceramics, Shannon Cooney from Glenmore Park Realty, BTZD Clothing, the official clothing partner of the Parra Cave podcast, and the official media partner of the Parra Cave podcast, the Parramatta Times.
Welcome to another episode of the Parra Cave podcast. And now over to your host, Troy Warner, broadcasting live from the world-famous Parra Cave.
Yes, hello listeners, welcome back to the Parra Cave podcast. This little episode is the Talking Parra excerts that I have put together of myself and a little bit of the team as well, of our weekly Talking Parra podcast that we have. Now, this one was recorded from an Instagram live, so something a little bit different that we did this week, talking about Magic Round and also the upcoming game against the Canberra Raiders. So a little bit different. You will be able to find the entire Talking Parra podcast on Apple and Spotify, so please subscribe to that one as well as the Parra Cave podcast as well if you already haven't. As I said, you'll be able to find the whole chat there with all the lads there that were on the Instagram live chat. So anyway, I've put all these bits together again. I hope you enjoy this content and thank you very much for listening.
Troy?
Yeah, look, sorry, Joel. What were you going to say?
On Sean Lane quickly, I don't know. I know he's come back, he's not himself, but seriously, he's making play 80 minutes non-stop basically since he's come back, and he's not the player he was, and I don't know what it's going to take for him to actually change that. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll go through Troy's thoughts and we'll get to some changes and what we'd like to do. So, Troy?
Yeah, unlike probably you guys, I haven't seen a replay of the game, so I'm pretty sort of dark in this game. I can only remember what I saw on the field on Sunday. So, yeah, look, I totally agree with all of you guys about the selection of Andrew Davey. I thought it was a very strange decision to bring him in, considering we won against Newcastle the week before. I thought probably just stick with the same side. Why change a winning formula? It seemed to work against Newcastle, so keep it again. You need that connection and you need that connectivity to keep that momentum happening. So I was very strange about that selection. I haven't looked at the Gutho sin binning real closely at the ground. I thought, well, it was just one of those things that happened really, really quickly, and he was just trying to compete for the ball, like going like this, but obviously it was a sin binning and that cost us. Dylan Brown was on fire, over 200 metres, couple of line breaks, assists, so probably his best game of the season by far, after getting a bit of a rocket from BA. But my real player... Yes. Oh, sorry, rocket from Joel. I forgot about that last week's podcast. So, yes, you must have listened to the Talking Parra podcast last week. So, did you happen to see Dylan up at Magic Round, Joel, at all?
Nah, didn't actually catch up, unfortunately.
Okay. But, yeah, I thought it was good of them to come back. You saw when Gutho came back on the field, he was really determined to make a difference because he felt that he let the team down by being sin bin. In terms of Moses going back to fullback, well, I think we've seen that before in some games, and also, him going back to fullback. Yeah, probably not the right decision. He's not really known as a fullback, is he? So I probably wouldn't have put him back there. I probably would have put maybe Dunster back there, or He could have played a bit of
Bailey.
fullback. Yeah, Bailey as well. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I think Dylan was outstanding. I think Ryan Madison was outstanding. And actually, that man that you just mentioned, Hayden Bailey, I thought he had one of his best games for Parramatta that we've seen him play, which will make Adam very happy about that.
Hopefully we got you this time.
Yeah, I think my moment of the match was the Eels' first try, I think, scored by Michael Sebo. I think that was a great try, that one, I thought.
Why would that be, Troy?
Oh, no particular reason. It just happened so quickly, and I thought we were on because we all know that Parramatta, when they score first, and you hope that they get that momentum and fast starters. But, players of the match, I think, look, I said it before, Dylan was up there, Ryan Madison, but look, I'll give mine to Bailey Simonson.
I don't think they'll get 90,000 based on the games. Like, it works well at some point, based on the fans up there and the fact that it only holds at 53,000. You're right, 30,000 is not enough. Look, the only other place I could see it working, I don't think it works in Sydney, to be honest, because all the Sydney teams have access to those games nearly every week. That's why it works taking it away.
Perth?
Well, Perth, the same thing. It'd be
Round
fair in
field.
Perth because there's a team over there. Doesn't matter about around field.
Yeah, it does, because that's the viewing for the spectators.
Well, why are we taking hang on, if you're on that theory, why are we taking Origin games to the MCG in Adelaide Oval and Perth?
Money. That's the only reason why.
Exactly right.
But how many times have you watched a game on a round field? It doesn't work.
Oh,
You watch games that
It's terrible.
so you got to think of the spectators as well.
But the NRL aren't thinking of the spectators. They're thinking about, we'll go to you first, Troy. Get your thoughts on this team, and then we'll move on to predictions.
Yeah, look, I think we all knew that Jake was going to come back into that halfback role. It's great to see Jake back for the first time, I think, this year in first grade. All he needs to do is just pass, kick, defend, and when Dylan wants the ball, Dylan gets the ball. That's all he needs to do. So he's not in there to be a superstar. He just has to do his job, and then Dylan will feel more comfortable and take it from there. So, look, it's going to be tough down in Canberra. We always know that. We've been lucky the last couple of times we've been down there. We obviously smashed them in the semi-final last year, but that was at Parramatta. Canberra are going for 5 in a row, so they're on a bit of a roll at the moment. So they're playing some good footy. So, look, it's going to be tough. I think always it's a battle in the forwards between any Canberra team and any opposition, so that should be a good duel there. I'd probably leave Maddo on the bench. We saw during last year his impact that he had coming off the bench into the game, so I think that's probably a good move. I probably wouldn't have had Davey. I probably would have had Cartwright start, and I probably would have brought Ogden onto the bench.
So,
You're right, but I don't think it's panic stations, because we don't want to drop the game, obviously, and we don't want to lose too many more, but it's not panic stations, because after the South Sydney game, we've got a few good games that we should win. There's a couple of buys in there as well, and it's during the Origin period as well, so we will probably only lose maybe Junior Paolo, and a good opportunity to pick up those games.
Not only that though, Troy, we're also only 2 points behind all those teams. And if you look at our for and against, we're a team that has the plus rather than the minus. So there's a lot of things going our way. We saw last season we were able to get into the top 4 with a bit of a late run. We were still good against some teams, but inconsistent. Look, we're a lot worse this year, but still showing those signs of attack. So I could be wrong, I think it's plus 34 and being 2 wins outside the 8, it's definitely not hit the panic button. I'm still, a bit optimistic on the season, but the more you look into it, if we come good and get a few wins, that for and against, especially with some of the games we've had, I think that Knights game probably really helped us. If we, don't concede 30-6 in Canberra this week, we should be all right.
Well, I'm going to disagree and say these panic stations. I'll give you the reasons why. We're grand finalists last year. We're sitting 13th, right? Our aim this year shouldn't have been to make top 8. Our aim should have been to win the comp. Simple fact is we're not going to win the comp from outside the top 4. like, as Matt just commented there, we need 10 from 14 just to make the 8, including the buys. If we don't win this week, we need, 10 from 13. So it's panic stations. It's definitely panic stations. We need to make it. All right, well, we'll see. If we're sitting here next week.
You look at the Panthers. They were premiers last year. They lose a couple of games. Do they panic?
Yes,
we're not that,
because both of these teams have lost a lot of their personnel, right? We mentioned Marnie, we mentioned Papali'i. Think about all the other players we've lost, Murata, Oregon Kafusi. You go to the Panthers as well, who have lost plenty of attack. They're using... Look, Koski and Sorensen are doing a great job, but they're Kikau, Appy Coruscant. You can see that these players... And that's why this competition's so open as well. Last year, you had those players that were gelling with the team, and now you've got a different team working together. So that's why I think that yes, there's still the differences, and you can't say that the teams that were in the grand final last week or even the Panthers... I don't want to hear people say to me the Panthers are the benchmark of the competition. I'm sick of hearing it.
Troy, you can go first because you're always so risky with these.
Oh, yeah, look, so risky. All right, so score will be... look, it'll be 28-20. Again, I said that last week, so I'll stick with that one. I'll go Bailey Simonson, first try scorer, and I'll go Josh Hodgson to put in a man-of-the-match performance, 3 try assists.
He probably will, actually. I think he'll have a good game against Cam this week.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Parra Cave Podcast. See you next time.